Hey guys, today's daily update is going to be a much shorter segment than the previous two. I've been really busy with work today and I haven't had as much of an opportunity to look at the news, so I'm going to mainly focus on the major stories and reports that have come out today. So think of this as kind of a bite-sized episode, but we'll keep all the good stuff in, we'll still get all the important information to you. Right, so let's go to the first story. Okay, so for our first piece of news, Tel Rifat, this town to the north of Aleppo here that you can see, has fallen to the SNA. So the SDF has retreated from Tel Rifat and has lost that territory. So I'm sure many of you will recognize the green buses, the infamous buses that allowed rebel fighters to be ferried out of Aleppo when it fell back in 2016 into Idlib. I guess you could say kind of the catalyst of this entire situation and this stage in the civil war. Well, they're back. So from what we know so far, the buses are back. HTS have offered the Kurdish fighters the opportunity to keep their lives and to head towards Raqqa, eastern Syria, the Kurdish territory, and to leave Aleppo. So supposedly here, this video that I've been playing in the background shows the buses that the Kurdish fighters will be taking towards Raqqa. On the southern front, the situation remains largely unchanged from how it was yesterday. The rebels are still to the north of Hama. They haven't been able to push into the city. It doesn't really look like they've tried today. It seems like they're consolidating yesterday's and the previous day's gains before they make a move on Hama. So pretty stagnant around here. You can see we've got a number of regime and Russian airstrikes, but apart from that, only small amounts of territory captured today in the southern area. Speaking of airstrikes, a particularly devastating one today on the Aleppo University Hospital killed 12 civilians and injured 23 others, according to the White Helmets. So we can see the regime and their Russian allies are definitely stepping up their game at the minute when it comes to airstrikes. We'll probably see this increase even more in the next few weeks, to be honest with you. I think a lot of civilians are going to get caught in the crossfire in the coming weeks, unfortunately. We have some very interesting information here, talking about the Russian equipment captured by the rebels in the last few days. Obviously, as the regime forces have been on the run, so to speak, they've left behind quite a lot of equipment. Supposedly, a lot of quite high-tech Russian stuff, including a Panzer S-1 air defense system, which is the best air defense system that Russia currently has. So the fact that one of those was left behind is quite shocking and really does show the extent of the retreat here, or, well, I suppose the rout, we'll call it, of the regime forces and their allies, because there were Russians on the ground during that initial retreat. Right, so here's something else that is unconfirmed as of right now, but supposedly the head of the Hama military district of the regime forces has been killed in a rebel FPV drone strike on his vehicle. I won't play the video, but supposedly, according to rebel sources, he has been killed in this attack. No one knows for sure what's going on here, but the video does exist. You can find it, you can play it yourself. I'll just show you a few seconds. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to show on YouTube, so as you can see, it's this vehicle here on the road, I believe. Yep, that one there, and it's targeted by this FPV drone. So again, currently unconfirmed, but possibly the head of the military security branch in Hama has been killed or at least injured in this drone attack. Okay, so in terms of the regime's response, and specifically Assad himself and his response to this rebel offensive, he met with Iranian diplomats today about the current conflict. Iran has pledged more support. As you can see in this article, government troops created a strong defensive line in northern Hama. As I said in yesterday's video, this is going to be a bloody fight, most likely sometime in the next few weeks. We're not sure exactly when the rebels plan to attack, so I thought I'd include this picture. It's been circulating a lot online today. Obviously, rebel fighter in the Aleppo citadel complex holding, well, hanging the Turkish flag over some kind of bridge here or staircase. I'm not too familiar with the citadel complex, but yeah, we all know that the SNA has been funded by Turkey and armed by Turkey. There are dubious reports of connections between HTS and Turkey. It's likely that there was some sort of implicit consent given for HTS to launch this offensive by Turkey. No one knows for sure the extent of the cooperation, but yeah, this has obviously drawn a lot of attention today. It should be noted though, just on the basis here of being fair to both sides, that regime forces do regularly hold up Iranian flags and put Iranian flags wherever they can, so this isn't unique to either side. This happens on both sides. This is a proxy war at the end of the day, and there are foreign backers on both sides. And finally, we have reports of a US airstrike in Deir ez-Zor province in eastern Syria, right on the border between regime and SDF-held territory there, you can see on this map. Supposedly a large number of Hezbollah-linked PMU fighters from Iraq that crossed over into Syrian territory were killed in this strike. Obviously this is all coming downstream from the Iranian support that they've pledged towards Assad. Lots of fighters reported to have crossed from Iraq into Syria today. So yeah, as I said earlier guys, I'm really sorry about the length of this video. I just didn't have a chance to really make anything longer. I'll put out something more substantial tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be more news for me to cover. I'm certain of it. This is a rapidly changing situation. But yeah, hopefully this video was able to cover some of the major events of the day. Just give you a quick update if anyone needed it. Okay, I'll see you next time.